uh, respected speaker Tina Saraswat Pandey, Madam, and our coordinator Sri Amit Agarwal, and my dear delegates. I welcome all of you to this Monday evening. At the outset, I should compliment our chairman EIRC, Sri Vishnu Tulsian, for his initiative, Golden Chacha. It is a program developed to develop the young professionals to be a speaker and to improve their proficiency in particular subject. Definitely, we all should take this benefit, more benefit to the young professionals who should come forward to participate in this program. I'm thankful to Speaker Madam Tina Saraswat Pandey and CA Amit Agarwal for organizing this technical session, CIRF from the practical perspective of RP. This program is organized regularly on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and each session will be 1 hour of time. Not only it benefits the speakers, but also it benefits the members who are in the remote area of Eastern India covered by the Eastern India Regional Council. The name of the states are Assam, Mizoram, Nagaland, Tripura, Manipur, Sikkim, Odisha, and West Bengal. Particularly, those branches which are not covered under any branch, particularly those areas which are not covered by any branch, it is covered by the Eastern India Regional Council. And this will provide a good opportunity to the young professionals to improve their speaking ability and also sharpen their skill in a particular technical subject. And also, at the same time, it will improve the knowledge of the members of the Eastern India Regional Council, mostly to the members of the remote area. So, I welcome all of you to this platform. Again, I thank our chairman, Sri Vishnu Tulsian ji, to provide me the opportunity to address before all the members. And now I request Amit Agarwal to carry the session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your kind words. I thank you on behalf of EIRC, all the participants, as well as our distinguished speaker for addressing the session. Thank you so much, our own past chairman of EIRC, Sunil Sir. Thank you so much. Coming on to the evening, I welcome you all in this another session of Golden Chacha, which is an initiative of EIRC to connect not only the EIRC but across the India for all the seasoned speaker as well as the young speaker. So we are incredibly fortunate to have with us Ms. Tina Saraswat Pandey, a seasoned IP professional whose expertise spans over more than 21 years. CA Tina is a chartered accountant from 2004 batch and has been an active IP professional since 2017. She holds additional qualification including DISA, JIBB, CAIIB, Triple C AB, and is an independent director and certified mediator as well. Notably, Ms. Pandey is one of the first female insolvency professionals in Central India, registered with III PIICAI, leading insolvency professional in Indore and MP. She has experience in CIRP, personal insolvency, and liquidation. She has also appeared as PCA in NCLT on behalf of petitioner as well as respondent. Her experience include overseeing a wide range of insolvency cases, including running an ongoing four-star hotels, biggest shopping mall of Bhopal, turnaround of insolvency packaging unit at Pitampura, and handling soya units, gear units, automotive units, five-star hotel, malls, dal mills, etc., and whatnot. Today, Ms. Pandey will share her insight on CIRP from practical perspective of RP. That is a very good topic in terms of that there are two things. One is what the loss is, and also how the RP handles the practical aspect of the various cases. So please welcome me, uh, CA Tina Saraswat Pandey ji, for addressing on the topic. Over to you, Tina ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Amit ji. First of all, I would like to thank Sahu sir and Mr. Vishnu Tulsian, chairperson of Eastern India Regional Council, and Mr. Amit Agrawal for putting in so much of efforts. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Without waiting much, we will start with the session. Moving with CIRP, it is a corporate insolvency resolution process. Dear friends, I am also CA like you, and I am also CA of 2004 batch. So, what attracted me to this profession of insolvency? The first thing which came to my mind when in 2017 I got to know about this syllabus. We are there to run the units. We get to run the malls. We get to run n number of factories. What we have to invest? Only knowledge. People invest so much of money to invest money built in an enterprise and company, and then they get an opportunity to run it. But here, what the first thing came to my mind when I read about this profession, here I have to invest my knowledge, I have to pass the exam, and then I will get to run all this type of companies. And luckily, I have passed this exam in 2017 itself. And I was among the first IPs to handle the assignments. So, my friends, you must have heard about CRP. CRP is a corporate insolvency resolution process, and IRP is a insolvency resolution professional. So, as in IRP, we have to supervise the entire process, handle it, and not only handle the process, handle the companies. And I was very fortunate to handle running malls, five-star hotels, factories, transformer units which were supplying to BHEL, GAIL, etc. So my friends, till date I have resolved all my cases. So what is a insolvency resolution process and how RP does the process and what exactly success of the process means? So let me start with defining the word success. Success is one of those words that carries different meanings depending on who you ask. But at its core, success is the achievement of a desired goal or outcome. Success is reaching a state where you are proud of what you have become and grateful for the path that took you there. So, success of a profession is not only successfully completing something, but attaining and feeling internal attainment of some of the practical things that you teach and modify yourself into a different person. So, in this process, I have learned a lot, and I will share with you all my practical experiences. And along with the experience, how I, as a CA, is benefited by this. Not only as an IP, but also as a CA, I got benefit of knowledge of insolvency. I am appearing as a counsel for commercial tax departments and various other people also, individuals. In NCLT, NCLET also I have appeared, my friends. So this profession has not only given me insight of running factories, malls, and supervising a process, but also added on to my CA degree by making me a consul also. So what do you mean by success of a CIRP? Success of a corporate insolvency resolution process depends on knowledge of rules, regulation, act, practical application of that knowledge, management skills, psychological state of RP. RP should be strong enough and never giving spirit of the RP. So we have to first start with the planning, then execution. And we should never forget that we are the one who are responsible not only for our own action, but for the action of others. So, dear friends, I will share with you some of the practical examples that will be interesting to hear also. There was a unit which was under CRP and that was closed by the erstwhile RP. Prior to me, there was an RP who has closed that unit, and there was a rift between the management and the RP. Now, COC wanted somebody to handle that. So there were 23 guards in that factory. The factory was closed during COVID because of some rift or differences. And I was approached by COC, ki, Madam, there is a situation and there is a factory somewhere located at XYZ place. You will be able to handle it. It is closed and there is a lot of nuisance from the suspended management side. Then I said, no, I will be able to handle. Let me see what the things are and how it will be done. So I was appointed as an RP of that case. So when I took the charge, there were around 23 guards. The unit was closed. Now, first thing, I restarted that unit. I have re-employed the people. And the same people who were creating rift were engaged, involved in the process, assigned some duties. So you may wonder how, with the same set of people, how I was able to manage. See, this is why I wrote in the key takeaways also management. The important skill an RP or any person has to possess who want to run a unit. Management is an art of getting things done by others. And assigning duty to the people gives them a sense of responsibility so that they never betray or go against that. So we have assigned duty to the suspended management, and the closest person of suspended management was also given a task to monitor, supervise that none of the assets are taken away. And you won't believe, and we had our guards also there. Apart from that, we as an RP deploy guards also. Unit was not only reopened, it was rerun. It was sold as a going concern. And I, as an RP, was welcomed by the employees because all of them have lost their job during COVID because of the rift. So restarting the unit was giving them re-employment. And so their families could be fed and they were very poor and they couldn't get job at that time. So I was welcomed with the garlands, flowers, etc. So this work is not only the work of a RP as a court officer, but it is also a work, it is also a social work. So success is not only attaining the task of resolution plan, but it is also giving away to the society. So here somehow I felt that I have given something back to the society because people were re-employed, re-engaged, and the factory started back, and not only it started running, but it also gave profits during CRP and it was successfully sold off. So, what was there? Because the same people were there who were creating RIF, why they were good with us? Because two things we have learned, we are in fiduciary capacity, we are caretakers. We should not mistaken ourselves as owners. And to get respect, you need to give respect to the others. So whoever is the suspended management, they have built an empire and they somehow have a role in that company. You can't immediately enter into a company and just throw away them and their role. So if this is not done and they are assigned some task, and if they are given a little bit of respect also, what will go wrong? So give them respect, give them the same place. Duties you give, don't give them rights, because the IBC doesn't allow them any rights. So they were sitting, they were doing the work, they were allowed, they were made responsible in writing that anything goes, you will be responsible. So in this way, we have created a harmonious relationship with them. And this way we could manage the enterprise successfully during our tenure as a IRP. So this is the way we should manage the CRP. We should not mistaken ourselves as an owner. We should consider ourselves as a caretaker, a person who is there to resolve the process, and benefit for the stakeholders should be seen. So my friends, not only this, I have run many other units also. And in between, I will share with you my experience as a practicing chartered accountant uh, in the matters of CRP or insolvency. This is also a new venture for all the IPs. You can not only become IP, but you IP or CA also. CA also there is a opportunity to appear as a practicing chartered accountant in the NCLT. I have also appeared in many cases of restoration of the company, and not only insolvency related cases, many other cases, claim related, etc. So by working in a legal field, you get a different perspective of the things. Now we'll go to that key. What else happens in a running unit? Fires also break out. So what did I do? And there are dispute also. I used to get a lot of recordings sent by people. This is happening, madam. That is happening. I even threat messages. We will commit suicide. So managing is not that easy. How it appears, it is a difficult task. But at the same time, the person who is managing should have a peace of mind to manage, because peaceful mind can only manage CRP. So when we used to get a dispute, so what I do, I listen to both the parties. I never react. Best thing is listen to both, don't react. Then try to understand the situation, not only from one person's perspective, but both of their perspective, and resolve it. So here the concept is not divide and rule. Here the concept should be unite and rule, because RP is there to unite everyone and carry on the process smoothly. Any questions anyone wants to ask in between about the process or anything? We can have an interactive session. Amit ji, is there any IP there or all are CA?
I don't know, ma'am, to be very honest, because it's very hard to find the profile, right? Whether they are practicing.
Acha, okay. So any questions anyone wants to ask here? I will continue with the things also.
Yeah, if anyone have a question, they can just write it down on the chat box or on question answer section.
Okay. So CIRP can be started in 3 ways. Section 7 petition filed by the financial creditor. Section 9 filed by the operational creditor, and Section 10 is filed by the corporate debtor himself. So as a CA, we not only work as an RP, but there are an assignments of CA for balance sheets audits, statutory audit. We appoint statutory auditors of the company also, and we appoint forensic auditors also, CA, for such companies. So there are n number of opportunities in IBC for CA, not only as an IP, but as a forensic auditor also. You can continue with this. As a practicing chartered accountant also, you can appear, and also as a statutory audit. So how I handle the company now, coming back to that. Salaries are also to be paid. RP has to do everything, checkbook signing and everything has to be done by us only. So this requires a lot of monitoring, supervision, etc. CIP process begins with the process of public announcement. There also the CAs can work, they can fill in the forms of claim forms, because most of the people doesn't know how to fill the claim form also. So claim forms are there that are to be verified, and a committee of creditor is constituted. And the committee of creditor basically comprises of financial creditors. And the chairperson is a IP who has to bring all the committee together and put agendas for voting and get the approval of the requisite agendas and carry forward the CI on the basis of approval obtained. And now it is not a only paperwork, it is mind work also, because a claim also creates a rift between the members. Many of the creditors claim if we verify, we have to keep some under verification. If we verify and admit, then we can't reject. So it is a process which not only involves a legal paperwork, but also application of mind. Now we hold COC meetings, that are meeting of committee of creditors. Then we prepare the minutes of the meeting. Then minutes are to be the ones who should speak for ourselves when we are not there. And in court of law, the minutes are the only savior of RP. Then we issue Form G, EOI, expression of interest, inviting people to express interest in the company. We have some criteria fixed, approved by COC. What should be the criteria for applying for Form G? So for this also, my CA friends, if all the people are CA here, you can apply on behalf of your clients, because Form G, expression of interest, is a document through which you get a detailed document of RFRP and detailed expression of interest that requires a lot of skill or experience skill of CA or some other financial background person to fill in the details and come forward with the expression of interest. After inviting expression of interest, we get the resolution plans. So resolution plan also, there is an opportunity for the CAs to prepare a resolution plan. Who can be better than a CA to prepare a resolution plan? So not only insolvency professionals, but CA can also prepare a resolution plan. It is a plan to resolve the company, take out the company from the crisis to a better situation. Many offers are there, how you will pay various creditors and then you will come out. So COC is also there, committee of creditors. They also fix the criteria. Now I will share with you my experience. I have run a hotel also. Now you may wonder how I could run a hotel. I'm a CA. It was in some 2018 or 19 that I ran a hotel. It was a 4-star hotel with dining, bar, and everything. So first thing I did to understand their procedures, because friends, we can't be expert of every field. We need to understand that we have our limited capabilities. We can't be at the same time, we can't be hotelier to know how the hotel runs. But we are CA. We know how to understand, grasp the thing and how to manage it. So first thing we did to understand their process and learned a lot from that also, how the counting is done, how they work, everything we understood. And I have run it successfully for 9 months. Even bar also we had how to manage the police, how to manage the Nagar Palika dues, how to manage other tax dues. And even I got a bar license renewed during the CRP. And because RP takes place of the suspended management, the license was renewed with my name. Obviously, company and my name being in the place of board of directors. And I have to address around 400, 500 employees. At the time that employees were hand to mouth, because for a lot of months they were not getting salary, because the accounts were bank accounts from bank accounts, the fund were flowing somewhere else. That's why the company has resulted into insolvency. Even bankers were not getting the dues, although the company was earning good amount. So the first time that they received salary was during CRP. So they were very happy that the company has come under CRP and their dues are taken care of. So we have run the hotel properly. And during COVID, everybody was stranded there. Around 500 people were stranded there. So we have departed them to their respective native places with due permission of administration. So RP work is not only just sitting and doing the work, but it is also for execution, how you get things executed. So at that time, we have to depart people to various native places. We have done that. And everything, what I could not imagine in this life, I've done everything. I have managed that hotel properly. Then I got a mall. From mall, I understood how they manage. All the particular shops are rented, how much are owned, how are the dues of the banks paid, how the things are suffering after COVID, because I got them all after COVID. So I came to know how what things went down, how the 200, 300 crore malls have landed into insolvency just because of due of some 5 crores, 6 crores. So looking at the things, many things have gone down. Even cinema halls were not working after COVID. In one of the cases, I appeared as a PCA and got a Section 9 petition admitted against some cinema ventures. So all these things have given me a perspective of the market, what is going on in the market after COVID also. So 100 200 crores mall we have managed. We took the possession. We first go and take the possession in custody. Possession and custody doesn't mean that I just pick up the things and bring home. It means that we have to depute the guards there, and every essential thing should be in our possession and custody. Physically, to possession of mall is not possible, but it should be surrounded by our own guards, and everything should be in our control from entry to exit and all the accounts and everything. So we have run that also successfully. Though we faced some rift from the management, but we were able to convince them. Because the only thing that we need to keep in mind that we are not owners, and giving respect will bring us respect back. So the only thing that has helped me out is the same philosophy that I am in fiduciary capacity, I am a caretaker, and nothing should go to head. So this way we managed it. Then we got various. Then I got a running unit of manufacturing of transformers. So you may feel how from one area to another they are switching, and you won't believe we have successfully run that. Two things have helped me: faith in myself, knowledge. That is the only thing that helps. Have trust in your knowledge and confidence. That running unit was run entirely during COVID. Matlab, sorry, after CRP, it was under me and it was run successfully during CRP, and we were supplying to mini Navratnas and Navratnas. Now you will wonder what all things lead company to insolvency when they are dealing. So that way I learned ki see the companies which are supplying to big PSUs, they don't get money on time. Don't get their revenue in time. That's why they face the issue of financial crunch. Because if they supply of 400, 500 crores and they get the amount back, their sale revenue of 700, 800 crores, after 4, 5 or 6 months, there is a time gap. So they face financial crunch. So this way, such companies land into insolvency because at the same time they're having debt from bankers, which are never ending and they don't stop in between. They continue. Installments you have to pay, it will not stop because you have not received the revenue. So ultimately, you land into insolvency. So all these things I have learned, and even I have learned ki how every person behaves in a particular situation. So it is not only training as an IP, but training as a human being also. I have been a trained human being now. How people react to the situation and how various people react to the situation in various ways. So that also I've run. Then many serious issues we have seen. We have seen some inspections. We see the notices of the department. We handle it. Like if we are handling I am handling five companies as a CRP. Then you may examine, you may think of, okay, I am handling five companies as in place of suspended management. So whatever are their responsibilities are my responsibility. getting filings at ROC done, attending all the PF, all the proceedings, IT scrutinies, everything we have to do. So that makes you more refined human being. And maintain and then managing committee of creditors. Dear friends, it is so difficult to manage two people at a time. Then managing a whole committee of creditors, which may sometimes comprise of 17 people, 20 people, or 2 people. And if you are very lucky, then only one person. But it is not always that one person will be there. Committee of creditors comprise of the financial creditors who have lended money to the insolvent company. Now, RP has not only to maintain decorum at the meeting, because committee of creditors, AGM, DGM, or some big persons of the bank, they are there. And as an RP, we have to preside. So we have to maintain the decorum. If we maintain it without favoring anyone. So RP is a one person who has to supervise everything, not only company, but also have to manage the COC also. Then I practically believe in, gradually with the passage of time. Initially, though we used to attend COC and we used to get angry, but over a passage of time, we understood. See, there is no need to get angry. There is nothing that can affect us. We should maintain the respect at the meeting, and whatever is their issues, either they should be resolved peacefully in the meeting or they may go to the court to resolve it. So good communication skills are very much important. You need not to know what you are doing, but you need to convince other person what you are doing and how you are doing, and they should also be convinced and should be happy. So we maintain respect, and we should not have any dispute in the meeting. We should promote neutral. We should be neutral and we should promote neutrality in the meeting, that nobody is favored. An RP is expected to be a neutral person and should maintain peace and harmony in the meeting among all the members, even with the promoters also. We should do that. So there are many issues that we faced as a going concern, not only this, but also issues of theft. Then we have to get everything done. Non-cooperation from the promoters. We need to file Section 19 to petition non-cooperation. And at the same time, we have to sit with these people only in the meeting. So nothing should be taken personally. It should be taken as a work, then it will go peacefully. And the process goes on whether in presence of document or in absence of document. Many cases there were that we had to file an FIR also as an RP. So, and we need to depute our people to handle the civil cases, inform the civil authorities that the company is under CRP. We need to intimate them. Despite a public announcement, we need to intimate every authority. Whenever we receive a letter from them, we have to intimate them that the company is under CRP. So the moratorium is there. You cannot take any action. Even one of my cases, it is online only. Account of the CD was debit freeze. Unfortunately, in that account, debit freeze account, we have received amount of some prospective resolution applicant. We went to the court. We got removed the debit freeze to the extent of the account that belongs to our CRP. Further, regarding claims also, I have many n number of cases where we have not accepted the claim and we have won till Supreme Court just on 2 grounds. We should know what we are doing and we should be confident about what we are doing. We should legally verify the claim on the basis of supporting. Then nothing can beat us in law. We should not be negligent. We should have to supervise everything everywhere. Now we have to take the custody, possession, and everything of the asset, everything in under our control. We intimate them, we visit, we make list of assets, take custody, videography we do, photography we do, so that in future they can't say it is not there or it is there. One of my professional colleagues have asked me a question. Ki madam, I have taken charge from the erstwhile RP. Now, suspended management is saying there was some asset of around approx 100 crores, which is not now there, but it was there at the time of the erstwhile RP. And he wants to visit the premise. Then he said, Madam, what to do? Because how can we prove? Or what should I do as an RP? Then I told him, you check the erstwhile RP's document when he took custody from the suspended management. Is that asset reflected in that? And then when you took from the erstwhile RP, is that asset reflected in that 100 crores approx? Then he said no. Erstwhile RP went to possession from the suspended management. Both the signatures are there of suspended management and erstwhile RP. But the asset is not stated there. Further, when I took the possession, same document was there. And I put my sign and was acknowledged by the erstwhile RP also. The asset was not there. Then I said the problem is solved. You can tell him that asset was never there. As per document dated so and so, signed between you and the other person. So there are not only the things which we predict don't come across in CRP because we handle different types of cases. Now we will be handling some, I will be handling some iron and steel plant also. So I'm very excited. So all the cases are very different cases and teaches us a lot how to run the units, dal mills. Every unit we have faced and we have run also. Various going concern, manufacturing unit, packaging units we have run. So all this have taught us a lot. And there were issues in hotel, various kinds of issues, how to count that bottles, liquor bottles. That also I learned. How do they do this? How it is practically possible to count everything. Then they told me how they do, how they vouch, how they keep it. So all this was a good learning exercise. And further, as a practicing chartered accountant also, as I appeared before NCLT and CLED. And in some of the cases, as an RP, we had to appear before Supreme Court also. One of my cases challenged rainbow judgment cases there, uh, which was reversed in my case of MP VET. So all this have refined me as a person. So CRP, as we are a chartered accountant and chartered accountant of 10 years of experience, get an opportunity to appear in this exam. So this not only gives us knowledge and insight of various companies, but also makes us believe in our own strengths and also reminds us of our weaknesses and enable us to overcome those. So I have learned all these things in the CRP. And also as a practicing consul, when the first day when I appeared, I was not that confident what to speak, how to speak. Then I used to write down and speak everything. But gradually with the passage of time, after 7 years of experience as an IRP, RP and PCA in NCLT, I'm more refined person and more better. Now I don't get affected by the words because what is spoken in the court is totally different from what we speak to each other in the normal formal conversations. There are allegations against RP in the court, allegations against any of the, if you are appearing for the respondent, then allegations against respondent. They may be correct, they may not be correct. Initially, we used to get affected how they can say this, how they can do, but it is their right to allege, it is our right to defend. So all this is a gradual realization. So anyone wants to ask any question, Amit ji, can you ask? Anyone has some questions or doubts?
Uh,
Nobody is having.
Friends, any doubts or any particular query apart from whatever explained by Tina ji? If you are facing anything on the practical ground or even for the matter like legal ground or anything, you can ask. I think it is so well explained neatly, the practical exposure of the thing, that I guess till now there is no question.
Yeah, there is a lot of opportunity for CA because we as a CA only know how to, even as a CA.
Out of curiosity, just I wanted to know one thing, like for all the newly passed our chartered accountant who want to be uh, IP professional or even to participate in the various IP things. So just to have a query that how they can connect with the various IP, what is the platform available, or how to just have a PR with them.
See, we have a IPBI website also where IP's name, addresses are mentioned so that you can connect with the IP of your choice and region. And if anyone wants to become an IP, then if they have a 10 years of experience, they directly have to give a limited insolvency exam. And if they want to appear after 2 years or 1 year, then there was a program organized by us also, along with IIP, ICI, and Ministry of Corporate Affairs. There is institutes which are open that give CAs or recent pass outs a chance to pass the exams of that institute and become a young IP. And further, I would add on कि IP profession not only is for IP, but as I said, the statutory audits and all this are required from the CAs. So CA mostly are little confused कि what we should accept that assignment or not.
Correct.
So, so for that I can suggest my dear CA fellow colleagues. As I explained to all my CAs who join me and who do the statutory audit, two things you remember. We are there to give true and fair view, right? So, because I am a CA also and ex-banker also, so whatever we state in the balance sheet, if there is something like in IP cases, what happens now, there is no balance sheet available. The entire data is taken up as it is. Only CRP expenses and COC contributions are accounted. In such cases, you just prepare proper notes. Ki all this are taken as it is, no data available, this petition is filed. You give n number of notes to explain your position. So no serious professional interest or nothing will be hurt. Like your concerns will be addressed. Like you need not to be worried about ki I'm putting my sign and if it is correct or not, because the company is not running in the same figures I'm carrying. Because we have to carry it. Because we have no options. No data
Correct.
is
Short,
available.
like, even if we don't get any document, we can put it on the audit report that no document is provided and blah blah blah, and we can provide.
Everything, every parameter, na, datas. I personally suggest all my CA to prepare note for every asset. A note, data is carried as it is, this carried as it is, because there is a section 19 to petition filed. So we are unable to, we didn't get any cooperation. RP has not got any cooperation from the management and they are not able to provide us a clear, correct data. So the previous year figures are carried as it is. And only changes will be in the bank balances that will be of the CRP period and the COC contributions and expenses. That's
But
all.
only for the inoperative units. What about the operational unit? Like,
Correct questions. So for that, what we do, we prepare two parts, part A, part B, for clarity of everyone. Part A is going concern cost. What is, because see, we as a CA know how to assess the net profit and how to segregate the other non-operational things. So when I handle the going concern, I used to ask my CA and the accountant of that company also, prepare two parts. One tally of CRP, contribution and expenses solely related to CRP. Solely related to CRP like valuers fees, RP fees, and other expenses. Security and other anyhow we have to deploy when we are running a going concern and raw material and everything. We used to divide in two parts. Part A, going concern cost. Part B, CRP related cost. And then we used to merge it. So we could get the exact situation of the net profit of the going concern and other expenses, then a total net profit. so that we can compare with the previous year figure of the company also.
Got it, ma'am. Thank you so much. There is a question from Rohini Agarwal. I'm interested in acting as an RP. How do I approach or find such opportunities?
Ms. Rohini, you have completed 10 years of practice. Are you there? If she has completed 10 years of practice, then she can directly.
She
Acha.
replied,
No.
ma'am.
No. Acha, then there is a course organized by Indian Institute of this is IICAI is there. I will tell you, they have organized some courses there, which is for freshers. And immediately after that, you can attend that college and become the youngest IP.
So can we, for the clarity, can we have the normal course when chartered accountant can become an IP, number one, and
See,
special route which you just mentioned?
see, Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs. They have a course for freshers who can become IP in a limited period of time, but there is 2 to 3 years parameter is there that is available on Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs site. They have some colleges also which are conducting programs and making fresh RPs, fresh batch of IPs, which are younger than 10, which do not have, possess that 10 years of experience and whatever experience is there. Second experience list is on IBBI website that you can find it there.
Okay. So in normal course, it's a 10 years of experience required,
Huh.
and there is a special route where we can complete a certain course. So 2 3 years will able to join the
Yes, and in normal course, they have a number of parameters, not only as a CA, but as an advocate, if you have a particular year of experience, certain period of experience, you can appear. So for everyone, there is a separate parameter in normal course, so that you can see at IBBA website. And anyways, you can work with any IPs because IPs need CA.
True.
Because managing, we can be a good managers, but we really need CAs to manage all our units. There are so many units. Every day we can't sit. Even we appoint concurrent auditors because in case of malls and hotels, there are concurrent auditors already who supervise every give a monthly report because it is difficult to manage high
We
value transactions.
I can tell my attendees to contact you for any further work related if they want to how to connect with the IPs for the additional work or the auxiliary work that will be required apart from being directly acting as a IP.
Yes, yes, yes. I would request you share with me the data because we really require statutory auditors, forensic auditors, pan India. Because
Sure.
we are not bound only by a certain region, we can appoint throughout India.
Great. Uh, any question from anyone else? I think that's it. So,
That is a new area for everyone, na? So, but
so
every CA should once attend the court hearings actually.
now, like a single IP can act as an IP in the different organization at the same time. Two,
Huh.
three simultaneous assignment can be
There
taken.
is a restriction in number of appointment. 10 CRPs and RP can handle, subject to 1000 crore. That is too much of amount. 1000 crores of claim. And there are PRP also you can handle. No, matlab 10 is too much. So enough limit is available for anyone. So at present also I am also handling 4 to 5 cases right now as a CIP. So it is a challenging task and really redefine. We can redefine ourselves. Like we can switch in various parameters and handle a lot of stress. And sometimes if the stress doesn't come, we feel bad because we are used to stress. Because see, if a person manages 1 unit, how much stress that person will be having? And if we manage 5 units, how much stress we will be having? We have received suicidal threats also during COVID times because people were not able to move out. 4 to 500 people were stranded in the hotel. So managing that, so everything we have managed at 11 in the night we got it. So and the people then give dharna for the salary and you are the one who has to handle. So
Complete package. You are acting on behalf of entrepreneur as a like caretaker or something like that.
yes, yes, yes.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am, for this wonderful session. And on behalf of the entire Golden Chacha team, EIRC, and our audience, I would like to express our sincere gratitude for your insightful and engaging session on CIRP from practical perspective of RP. And your extensive experience and practical insight provided a valuable learning for all the attendees. So we particularly appreciate your sharing from your practical experience prospect. So thank you once again, ma'am, for your time and expertise. And we hope to collaborate again with you in the future. And thank you so much for all the attendees as well for the patientful listening and getting an engagement into it. And for any further query and thing, we will just share the ma'am's number with you all so you people can connect. And we'll meet you again on the Wednesday at the same time, 5 o'clock, with another topic, with another speaker. So thank you so much, Tina ma'am, for addressing the session.
Thank you, Amitji, and thank you, Chairperson of ERC, Eastern Regional Council. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, ma'am.